Alright, it's Poster 2 back out in the garage. I am working on the heads here. I've already, well, I'm working on this one. I've still got to clean the other one. Is what it is. This head is just about as clean as I can get it. Now you can look through here and see all this. It's basically just staining. I went through with the razor blade. And checked it just like I worked on it just like I did on the block face head on the deck on the block, and it came out it's as clean as it's going to get. Only way you can get it cleaner, the face here cleaner, is to mill it, and I'm not going to do that. It's just an expense that I'm not ready to pay for. I already not with these heads. These heads are just run-of-the-mill 317 heads. They're not, you could use them for turbocharging. They would work well, but the port size, I'm sorry, the combustion chamber size is a little bit bigger than, say, you know, the LM7 heads. And what that does is it lowers your compression, your static compression ratio. The difference, why you'd want to use these over the LM7 heads or the smaller heads with the smaller chamber, is because these have 2-inch valves, where the ones in there are 189s, I believe. So these will flow more air the way it is. It just isn't really worth your time to put a lot of money and effort into them to do that. I can go to I can get a set of rebuilt LS3 heads, a pair of them, off of Amazon for $900. That makes a lot more economical sense. Those will flow like big dogs up in the neighborhood of 325, 350 CFM on the intake side, which is the rule of thumb for horsepower production from the flow. You can take the flow, which in that case, say it was 350 CFM for the LS3 heads. 350 CFM times 2, those heads are should be capable of around 700 horsepower, give or take, which is 700 horsepower naturally aspirated that's a lot of giddy up for naturally aspirated, especially on you know, you put that on to like a 408 stroke or something like that, and it's gonna do you wonders. These heads, I don't know what they flow, but they don't flow anywhere near that. They're probably in the high 2s, something like that. I'd have to look. I'll let you know. Anyway, these are in really good shape though. I've checked the valves against the valve guides, like I said before, and they were pretty good. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is I've got, I'll say semi-quasi lapped. It's cleaned up the seats on these 4. I still got these 4 left to do. I had bought where did it go? I don't know. It's around here someplace. I had bought a tool, and it quickly went away. Oh, there it is. There it is. You guys have seen it all along, screaming at me, Paul, it's right there. This is a little suction cup, and what you're supposed to use it for is you stick it on the valve and you use it to turn the valve. Well, the little suction cup don't suction very well for very long, and maybe it needs to be wetter. I just don't know. But I went to the power method. Now, some of you might disagree with that method, and you are completely fine to disagree with it. That is up to you. But I'll show you what I've been doing, and you can hear and see. Oh, also, I took my little die grinder thingy here. Got a sanding pad on this, and what I did is, I think I told you guys that these are really sharp on the edge, so I just took and just barely right down the edges and went and hit those, and they are not nearly as sharp now as they were before. It works for me. That will definitely work for me. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I've still got 4 more ports to do here, and I'm just doing that. Mind you, it's not cleaning them up as good as I would like. You guys probably can't even see it, but there is a ring around the outside, the very edge of this, where it touches on the head, and that's going to be just peachy keen right there. What I'm going to do is, after I get it back together, I will put alcohol in these and see IPA, and see if any of them leak. If none of them leak, then I'm good. If they leak, then I'll go back and I'll relap them some more and make sure that they seal up real nice. Other than that, that's where I'm at and that's where I'm going. So. If you're wondering what I'm doing here with the multi-purpose lubricant here, I'm hitting the guides and hitting the stem on the valve. It's just a little bit of lubricant so that I don't gall the valve stem or the guide, and that makes sure that it stays in good shape. I mean, it's in pretty good shape right now. We want it to stay that way, so. Also, you can probably see the stuff that's on there. That is this is a valve grinding compound, and it has a grit to it, and an abrasive that is inside the paste, and you do not want this stuff to get down onto the valve stem or in the valve guide, because it will tear it up. So you got to go through and clean it pretty good after you get through doing this, and so that's what. And then I hit it with some carb cleaner, and that gets most of it off. Well, I wipe most of it off with the dirty rag, and then I come back with the clean rag, or cleaner rag. I got so many rags here. Clean it up with the cleaner rags, so that trying to get as much off it as I can. The plan is to go ahead and hit these again in the parts cleaner again before I final assemble these guys, just so that they are a little bit that I'm not missing any of the grit or anything from this stuff, and just a final try and get it a little cleaner. I don't think it's going to get much cleaner. Even as ugly as it is, it really isn't that dirty. If you look at it between now and what it was beforehand, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So. All right, and I'm seeing what I wanted to see on these anyways, and that was, here, let me get you a little bit closer so you can see. Here's the valve seat, the grayish metal part that's right there. It's embedded. It's a harder, I think it's centered iron or something. I don't remember what they are, but they are hardened much harder than what the aluminum is, but they're hardened so that they can stand up to unleaded gasoline. And anyways, what I was trying to do is, you can see it's nice and uniformly gray all the way around on these guys. That's what I was looking for on there, and that should make it so that it seals up and gives us what, that valve to seat seal, so that the combustion chamber stays sealed up. And that's what we want it to do. We want to keep, when it's combusting, we need to keep the combustion in the chamber, and then we make more power. Other than that, if the exhaust valves leak, you can burn an exhaust valve, and I mean, it will literally tear them up. Usually what happens when the valve sets on when the valve sits onto the valve seat and then the combustion goes off, inside the chamber, the heat goes to the valve and it flows out through the face of the valve out to the valve seat and into the head. That way, the valve, if it was just the valve hanging out there, the valve in the temperatures that happen inside of the combustion chamber, the valve would soon get melted. But it doesn't. It transfers the heat, and alles klar, Herr Kommissar. Anyway, so this head is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to hit it again in the parts cleaner, and then we'll get on with assembly. I'm probably going to clean the valves one more time as well as just rinse off the springs, valves, springs. Yes. Keeper retainer. Oh, I don't know. I'm still confused. Anyways, all right. Shall we see about getting this head back together? Yep, I forgot. I destroyed my last pair of gloves. Let me get a new set. All right. So, luckily enough, yeah, who made these? I don't know. But they did mark them exhaust and intake. There's two different types. You can see these have got, I think these are Viton is what these are. And these are probably heat resistant ones. I don't know what they're made out of. But, or what they are. Need these to get things rolling. 4 of each. I also went and got a socket so that I can, when I'm ready to, put that right over the top. These also come with these little doodads. They go right on. They go right on top of the valves, so that the seals will slip right over the top of them. Anyways, because of that, I am going to put the valve in first. I'll put this on top of it, and then put the seat down on top of that. Why don't I do the seals first? I just want to lube the stem a little bit. I've got some oil that I use just for this kind of purpose. All right, and I gently put it up through the stem seal there, valve seal. Oops. There's that. Got the spring compressor. I don't even have my gloves on. Woohoo! I'm so good at this. I think that one's seated good. If not, we will go through and check them after we get this all together. We'll go through and check them. The way that you do that is with a hammer. Anyway, all right. So I can see that I can get these valves up in here without any issue with the seats on, or the seals on. I mean. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put these guys in, and then we'll go from there. That was me checking the retainers to make sure everything is good. That's the way you do it. You just bounce it off the seat, and it if they aren't going to hold, then it'll pop right off. And then you got to go find your keepers. Okay. Okay. On to exhaust number 1. That head is back together, and this is still not as clean as I wish it would be, but it is what it is. All right, so you might have heard me several times during the procedure. The jaws of the spring compressor, and you might even be able to see just a little bit of aluminum there, was riding on here. You can see the shiny, you might be able to see the shiny spots down here riding on there, and it was interfering. So I was trying to adjust this pin here, the length, so that it was as long as I could get it and still get the jaws over the spring. Because what happens is that well, if I have too much space in here, then these start gouging into these. It changes the angle of how it approaches these. And if this is too long, then I can't get the jaws over the top of the retainer. Keeper. Retainer keeper. I will look again. Anyway, all I can say is one head that's put back together, ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll. So if you guys want a before and after shot, you're thinking, oh, this thing is still dirty. Whatever. Here is the after. And there is the before. Yeah, I should have done it the other way, huh? That's the head that I still need to work. And it is dirty. All right, so I'm going to clean up my work area, and then I'm going to start working on the other head. This is actually a couple days later. I already had, this is the other head. I had it about halfway taken apart already. This is me taking the valves out and the springs. You can see it's set off there. Pretty much went the same as the other head. Not a problem. So last valve out of that head, and there we go. Taking off the valve seals, which wasn't bad. I didn't do that the first time on the other head, and I had some cleanup I had to do. I found that plug in the end. I wanted to take it out to make sure I could get in there and clean it, clean everything. So that's just me taking the plug out. That's where the temp sensor goes on the opposite head, which is, this would be the passenger side. The other one is the driver's side head. So left. This one's the right side, the other one's the left side. Anyways, and off camera, I'm getting the tank ready to go, and just a second you'll see this head. Yep, there it goes. And then I went through, just like I did with the other one, and I cleaned up the area first. But I took all this stuff over to the over to the ultrasonic cleaner that I did before. Cleaned all that stuff up, as well as there it goes all in the bin, and the bits and pieces going over there. And then I took the valves and I cleaned all those bad boys up too. So that is the video, and I hope you all have a good one. Till next time, be well.